The negative space around a thing defines it more than it defines. The empty frame, the pause, the ring of silence between all the lines. Negative space, as real as form. The quiet that defines the norm. Negative space, mine and wide. Everything that lives outside. To what I leave empty and unsaid. The pause is full of their intention. The spaces where the feelings led. Negative space, as real as form. The quiet that defines the norm. Negative space, mine and wide. Everything that lives outside. What you leave out is as important as what you say. The negative space is where the meaning stays. In the space between the notes, it's where the music lives. I know that now. After the signal fades to static, after the frequency goes low, something settles, something automatic, something only quiet knows. After signal, just the hum, the sound of everything to come. After signal, soft release, everything has found its peace. After signal, warm dissolve, everything I didn't solve. I've been searching for a cleaner frequency, one that doesn't cut and scratch. But there's a beauty in the residency of signals that don't fully catch. filtering, no blocking out. Just receptive to whatever slide. Signal makes its quiet shout. Open bandwidth. Receive it all. Everything that comes to call. Open bandwidth, wide and clear, picking up what wants to be here. Open bandwidth, soft and live, taking everything the night will give. Some nights the signal is just static. Some nights it carries something true. I've stopped being so emphatic about which kind comes through. Open bandwidth, receive it all. Everything that comes to call. Open bandwidth, wide and clear, picking up what wants to be here. Open bandwidth, soft and live, taking everything the night will give. Receiving. Open and receiving. Something always comes through. A fading signal of the day grows softer as the hours turn. What was urgent falls away. What was burning ceases to burn. Fading signal, let it go into the warm below. Fading signal, soft release. Everything dissolving into peace. Fading signal won't fade out. That's what evening's all about. I used to chase the fading signal, try to hold the day in place. Now I let the fade be in The low window shows a different city than the one the high floors know. More detail, more ordinary beauty, more of the actual below. Low window, this is mine. Ground level, human design. Low window, close and real. The city at the scale of fear. I've lived at every height in cities and learned I always come back down. The low window holds the gritties and the gentler parts of town. Low window, this is mine. Ground level, human design. Low window, close and real. The city at the scale of fear. Look through. Low window. Everything is closer here. The faces, the rain on pavement, the scale of what is deep. Through the low window, everything I need to see. Right there. More ambient proof collected now. The quiet evidence of days. The coffee ring, the careful vow I made to change my restless ways. Ambient proof I exist in the ordinary that persists. Ambient proof, low and wide, present on every side. not in the dramatic, not in the grand unnoticed thing. It's in the gentle, the automatic, the small routines that quietly ring. Ambient proof I exist in the ordinary that persists. Ambient proof, low and wide, present on every side. Look at all the proof that I have been here. All these small impressions left by someone who was present, still leaving proof. And everything ordinary that counts. The night warmth is a different kind than the warmth the daytime brings. Something gentler for the mind, something quiet in its rings. Night warmth, this is mine. A temperature that feels just fine. Night warmth, soft and real. The only warmth I truly feel. I chase the night warmth now through the apartments I have lived, always finding out somehow that the night is what has given. Night warmth, this is mine. A temperature that feels just fine. Night warmth, soft and real. The only warmth I truly feel. The night keeps a special warmth reserved for those who stay up late. A warmth that daylight never offers. A warmth worth staying up to get. Night warmth. yourself in it. The asphalt holds the heat of day, long after everything has cooled. I press my palm against the gray and feel the warmth the sun has pooled. Asphalt hours, warm beneath the residue of everything. Asphalt hours, city heat, the warmth beneath the tired feet. Asphalt hours, dark and white, the city breathing deep inside. There's something honest in the pavement and its refusal to forget the weight of every passing statement, every footstep, every debt. Asphalt hours, warm beneath the residue of everything. Asphalt hours, city heat, the warmth beneath the tired feet. Asphalt hours, dark and white, the city breathing deep inside, still warm. Long after the sun is gone, the city remembers. I need a low canopy tonight, something close above my head. Not the open sky and all its height, but something warm and sheltered instead. Low canopy, close and kind. A ceiling for the restless mind. Low canopy, hold me near. Sun my eyes on the low horizon, not the peaks that others climb. The line where earth and sky keep rising slowly in their own good time. Low horizon, mine to see everything that's going to be. Low horizon, wide and real, more than any peak could feel. Low horizon, soft and far, finding where we truly are. The summit has its drama, its achievement and its view. But the low horizon has the calmer patience of the long and true. Low horizon, mine to see everything that's going to be. Low horizon, wide and real, more than any peak could feel. Low horizon, soft and far, finding where we truly are. Keeping my eyes on the low horizon, that's where the real things are. I live in the low pressure zone, where tension drops and breathing clears, where the weight I carry on my own gets lighter in the atmosphere. Low pressure zone, find it now. The body knows exactly how. Low pressure zone, breathe it in, let the evening pressure begin to drop and settle slow and wide into the low on the other side. On the other side. Not emptiness, just less weight. The gradual release of hell, the pressure dropping before too late into the calm, slowly spelled. Low pressure zone, find it now. The body knows exactly how. Low pressure zone, breathe it in, let the evening pressure begin to drop and settle slow and wide into the low on the other side. The long exhale at end of day takes longer than I thought it would. The lungs release in their own way, the slow surrender of the should. Without pausing, without warning, carrying more than all the rest. The long exhale finally done, letting go of everything one. The long exhale, soft and wide, all the tension stepping aside. Breathe out slow, take your time. The night is patient, the night is fine. Still exhaling, the longest breath of the day. Almost done. The city breathes at night differently than in the frantic rush of day. It exhales more slowly, more intently, and finally has something true to say. City breath, slow and wide, the exhale of the other side. City breath, warm and real, the only version of the deal. Heart started sinking to its breathing, to the city's nighttime lung. It's slow inhale and slow releasing of everything that they had wrung. City breath, slow and wide, the exhale of the other side. City breath, warm and real, the only version of the deal. Breathe There's a gravity low in the evening that pulls me toward the ground. Not falling, just receiving the weight of all around. Gravity low, pulling down into the softest part of town. Gravity low, warm and deep. The weight that holds me here in sleep. Gravity low, I give in to the pull that lives within. I used to fight the heaviness of evenings that press down. Now I find the tenderness in letting gravity be found. Gravity low, pulling down into the softest part of town. Gravity low, warm and deep. The weight that holds me here in sleep. Gravity low, I give in to the pull that lives within. Pull down gently into the soft gravity of night. Let it hold you. My interior tide moves quietly without the drama of the sea. Just a gentle shifting privately between the versions of me. Interior tide, in and out, moving without fear or doubt. Interior tide, mine and deep, a rhythm that I always keep. the interior tight nose. Some nights the city feels like mine, alone, like everyone else has finally left, and I'm the last one going home, through a city of a quiet theft. City of one, just me in the dark, just me in the neon in the park. City of one, this rare gift, the city to myself, adrift. The night has its own texture, a roughness in the quiet dark, a softness in the architecture, a sound between the spark. Night texture, felt not seen, everything that lives between. Night texture, rough and fine, running fingers down the line. Before the morning finds me here, before it asks me who I've been, I wanna hold this dark, sincere, and everything it holds between. Before morning finds me in this quiet I have made, before morning reminds me of everything the light has said. The morning is so full of questions. The dark requires nothing much, just presence without the suggestions of who I am supposed to touch. Before morning finds me in this quiet I have made, before morning reminds me of everything the light has said. A few more minutes in the dark that asks nothing. A few more minutes before the day begins its asking. Not yet, just a little more dark. Just this. There's an empty frequency in the evening, a gap between the noise and rest, where nothing broadcasts, nothing leaving, just the silence doing its best. Empty frequency, space to breathe, everything the quiet can bequeath. Empty frequency, open wide, nothing filling up the inside. Empty frequency, clear and clean, the purest space I've ever been. I used to fill it out of habit, with noise and task and endless scroll. Now I let it be a quiet rabbit hole that leads back to my soul. Empty frequency, empty frequency, open wide, nothing filling the inside. Empty frequency, clear and clean, the purest space I've ever been. Between the black of night and morning gray, there lives a blue that has no proper name. The sky discovers it before the day, and then the light arrives and it's the same. The blue between the nameless hour, the quiet before the world reclaims its power. The blue between the shade of almost, the color of the things I value most. I set my alarm to catch it sometimes, to sit inside that transitional hue before the ordinary day reclaims time, before the blue becomes a different view. The blue between the nameless hour, the quiet before the world reclaims its power. The blue between the shade of almost, the color of the things I value most. That blue, right there between the dark and light, that's the one. I've been swimming for a long time against currents I didn't choose, and the shore that I am reaching looks like morning fog. It covers everything in soft. I reach for something sharp and clear and find it muted, find it lost. Fog memory, softer than the truth. The gentler version of my youth. Fog memory, warm and thin, protecting me from deep within. Fog memory, kind and wide, blurring out the sharpest side. I used to fight the softening, the way things blur at the edges. Now I let the fog come in and rest inside its gentle pledges. Fog memory, softer than the truth. The gentler version of my youth. Fog memory, warm and thin, protecting me from deep within. Fog memory, kind and wide, blurring out the sharpest side. Let it blur. Some things were kinder soft. The harbor has a depth that holds the ships that need to rest a while. A depth that shelters and enfolds. Before the next departure mile. Harbor depth, hold me still, deeper than the surface thrill. Harbor depth, safe and wide, the depth that holds from the inside. sat on my night deck in the quiet of the late hour. Everything I haven't dealt with yet, everything beyond my power. Night deck, would I owe the dark for the shelter of its quiet mark? Night deck, settling slow, paying back what the dark bestows. Night deck, soft and clear in the honest dark, I'm not so feared. Is always manageable in the late and quiet black. Nothing here is unmanageable when you lay flat on your back. Night deck, what I owe the dark for the shelter of its quiet mark. Night deck, settling slow, paying back what the dark bestows. Night deck, soft and clear in the honest dark, I'm not so feared. Dead settle for tonight. The dark asks so little, just presence. The low architecture of the night, the things built at human scale, the windows at the level of the light, the doorways worn and pale. Low architecture, mine to read everything a person needs. Low architecture, close and real, the buildings built for are built at the scale of a silo architecture, built for living in. That's the best kind. By evening I can map myself more clearly. The day has drawn the borders in. I know my edges slightly more sincerely. I know more exactly where I begin. Evening cartography, soft and slow, mapping everything I know. Evening cartography, mine to read, the map of everything I need. Some evenings the borders shift, and what I thought I knew moves, but the shifting is itself a gift, a reminder that I'm not just grooves. Evening cartography, soft and slow, mapping everything I know. Evening cartography, mine to read, the map of everything I need. The map is never finished, the borders keep adjusting. That's not a flaw, that's just the truth of living. Still mapping, still discovering new edges. The map is always incomplete. I'm in my drift season again, that time of year when nothing settles. When I move between what was and when, and lose myself in quiet nettles. Drift season, let it come, between the start and what I've become. Drift season, wide and real, the season of the way I feel. I've been holding my breath for something, not sure what the something is. A change, a word, a quiet becoming, or just the end of all of this. The held breath, waiting still, something gathering its will. The held breath, suspended time, everything paused before its prime. The held breath, mine alone. The quiet before the known. There's a moment just before exhale, when everything is possible and held, when the world could dip in any tale, when nothing yet has been compelled. The held breath, waiting still, something gathering its will. The held breath, suspended time, everything paused before its prime. The held breath, mine alone. The quiet before the known. Still holding, almost ready to let go. Almost. My inner season doesn't match the one outside the window glass. Sometimes summer, sometimes catch of winter that refuses to pass. In the season, mine to keep, whatever grows in the interior deep. In the season, soft and real. The season of the way I feel. I've learned to dress for both the seasons, the outer and the inner one, to have two wardrobes and their reasons. For the inner one in the sun, in the season, mine Whatever it is right now, it's valid. By evening I can do the arithmetic of what the day required and what it gave. The calculation isn't worth the trick of tallying every moment I behave. Evening arithmetic, soft and done, counting all the lost and won. Evening arithmetic, mine to keep. The numbers that I hold in sleep. Today the column tilts toward loss, but yesterday the gains were more. And if I look across the average holds some kind of core. Evening arithmetic, soft and done, counting all the lost and won. Evening arithmetic, mine to keep. The numbers that I hold in sleep. The math never quite balances, but the process of the counting is itself a kind of holding of everything that I'm accounting. The numbers are imperfect, but the counting matters. That's the only math I know. The night leaves residue on me, long after morning tries to clean. A trace of what I used to be before the daylight intervened. Night residue, soft remain. Something good in what the dark obtained. Night residue, mine to keep. The trace daylight carefully botches. Night residue, soft remain. Something good in what the dark obtain. Night residue, mine to keep. The trace of the most honest sleep. Night residue, real and warm. The self I am beyond the form. Still carrying a little of the night into the day. That's the best part of me. I live inside an echo room some evenings, where every thought returns to me. Not louder, just with different meanings. In its second coming, set more free. Echo room, hear it twice. The second time is always nice. Echo room, soft return. Something every echo learns. The things I think it do in the morning come back softer by the four, without the urgency and warning they had on their first tour. Echo room, hear it twice. The second time is always nice. Echo room, soft return. Something every echo learns. Let the thought echo, let it come around again. The second version is usually the kinder one. Echo, an echo, softer every time. raging year, not for the obvious reasons, but for what the copper makes feel clear. Copper light, warm and warm, golden like a thing reborn. Copper light, laid and low, the most beautiful of the globe. October understands me the way it slows the light, draws it out and warms it before the long night. Copper light, going golden, going slow. The evening finds its balance slowly between the done and the undone. Something quiet, something holy in the settling of the sun. Evening balance, soft and found, everything returning to the ground. Evening balance, warm and true, everything the evening knew. I've stopped fighting the imbalance of days that tip too far one way. The evening always finds its balance and levels out before next day. Evening balance, soft and found, everything returning to the ground. Evening balance, warm and true, everything the evening knew. The balance comes on its own if you stop trying to force it, if you let the evening do what evenings have always known to do. Balance now. The evening found it, always does. I count the hours like loose change, spending them on nothing much, rearranging and rearranging things that don't quite add to such. here in this quiet space and do the math of loss and gain. Night arithmetic, soft and slow, adding up the yes and no. Night arithmetic, only mine. Everything between the line, it never balances quite right. But something in the trying makes the numbers feel like light. Inside the quiet crying, still counting, still here. The math doesn't matter as much as I thought. I take the slow approach to everything, the long way around the obvious, to find whatever quietly it brings, and the considered, not the frivolous. Slow approach, take your time, everything will become fine. The slow approach, measured and calm, like a hand extended without harm. The slow approach, patient and wide, coming from the quieter inside. Not hesitation, not fear, just the belief that slow is more, that what arrives with care is clear and worth the time before. The slow approach, take your time, everything will become fine. The slow approach, measured and calm, like a hand extended without harm. The slow approach, patient and wide, coming from the quieter inside, taking it slow. No need to rush toward anything, it'll be there. Between stations is the most honest part of any journey through the city. When you're nowhere, when the trip is dark, between the destination and the pretty, between stations, nowhere quite, just the tunnel and the light. Between stations, transit of the not yet there, of what I'm going toward or from, the honest middle of the air, between stations, nowhere quite, just the tunnel and the light, between stations, mine to hold, the space between the stories told. Is overrated. The in-between is where it lives. The between stations, underrated, is where the honest moment gives. Still between. Still in the tunnel. The light is coming. The love I feel lives in low frequency, below the range of ordinary sound. A bass note pressed with such consistency, it shapes the room without a single pound. Low frequency love felt not heard, below the reach of any word. Low frequency love, deep and wide, the kind that moves you from inside. I've had the kind that shouts and announces, the kind that fills the room with sound. This love moves quieter, it renounces the need for anything but ground. Low frequency love felt not heard, below the reach of any word. Low frequency love, deep and wide, the kind that moves you from inside. You don't hear it, you feel it in your chest. That low insistent warmth that doesn't need the rest. Low frequency, still vibrating, still felt. I've made my peace with proximity to things I'll never quite become. The reflected light of all I see is light enough for what I'm from. Moon adjacent, close but not orbiting what others forgot. Moon adjacent, quiet pull, never empty, never full. Adjacent is not second, adjacent is just different. The light reaches you differently here, but it still reaches you. Moon adjacent, still lit, still turning. I've been running on borrowed warmth, on the heat that others left behind. In the rooms that knew a different worth, in the moments left by those more kind. Borrowed warmth, still enough to get through all the cold and rough. Borrowed warmth, real and true, even when it comes from you. There's no shame in taking borrowed light from those who left it for you here. The warmth that gets you through the night doesn't have to be originally clear. Borrowed warmth, still enough to get through all the cold through them with careful light and take from them what I can take. Glass hours, handle with care. Something precious in the air. Glass hours, clear and fine, fragile moments, yours and mine. Glass hours, don't press hard. Everything tonight is scarred. I've held things that shattered before and learned to hold with open palms. Tonight the hours need nothing more than presence and a little calm. Glass hours, handle with care. Something precious in the air. Glass hours, clear and fine, fragile moments, yours and mine. Glass hours, don't press hard. Everything tonight is scarred. So carefully, so carefully held. Something in me stays open, like a circuit without a close. Not broken, just unburdened. Letting current come and go. Open circuit, always live, always ready to receive. Open circuit, warm and wide, current moving deep inside. Open circuit, let it flow. Everything I need to know. I stopped trying to complete myself to find the missing piece. So some things work best left open. Some currents need no final fire. Open circuit, always live, always ready to receive. Open circuit, warm and wide, current moving deep inside. Open circuit, let it flow. everything I need to know. Still open, still receiving. Good. Something in me stays open, like a circuit without a close. Not broken, just unburdened, letting current come and go. Open circuit, always lit, always ready to receive. Open circuit, warm and wide, current moving deep inside. Open circuit, let it flow. Everything I need to know. I stopped trying to complete myself, to find the missing piece or wire. Some things were best left open. Some currents need no final fire. Open circuit, always lit, always ready to receive. Open circuit, warm and wide, current moving deep inside. Open circuit, let it flow. Everything I need to know. I circuit, warm and white, current moving deep inside. I live inside a quiet radius of everything I've chosen to be near. Not small by accident, not vacuous, just the right amount of atmosphere. Quiet radius, this is mine. Everything this line, quiet radius, soft and true, just enough of me and you. I used to think that more meant better, meant more rich and full. Now I read the quiet to the letter and find it complete and beautiful. Quiet radius, this is mine. This line, quiet radius, soft and true, just enough of me and you. The radius keeps what matters close and lets the rest just drift away. Inside it I have what I need most to make it through another day. Small circle, complete and whole, enough. the end of the difficult days, I return to the simple fact. Still breathing through the haze, still here, still mostly intact. Still breathing, that's enough for tonight and all its rough. Still breathing, still and real, the minimum of what I feel. The bar can be as low as breathing on the days that press the hardest. Just the quiet in and out of leaving. One more breath into the dark is still breathing. That's enough for tonight and all its rough. Still breathing, still and real, the minimum of what I feel. Still breathing is not a small thing. On certain days, it is everything. Still breathing. That's the whole victory today. That's enough. There's a low language in the evening that doesn't need words to be said. A warmth in the quiet receiving of everything left instead. Low language felt not heard, below the reach of any word. Low language, warm and clear, the good things accumulate so slowly. You barely notice them arriving. The warmth, the ease, the something holy that comes from quietly surviving. Slow accumulation, grain by grain. Not dramatic, not a refrain. Slow accumulation, soft and real. More than I expected to feel. One good sleep, one honest meal, one conversation that felt real. One moment when the city breathed, and I breathed with it, relieved. Slow accumulation, grain by grain. Not dramatic, not a refrain. Slow accumulation, soft and real. More than I expected to feel. It doesn't come all at once. It never does. It comes in the small, in the barely noticeable, in the almost nothing that adds up to everything, accumulating slowly. Getting there, getting there. So, memory, the kind that stings, not with cruelty, but with truth. The honest residue of things that happened in my easier youth. Salt memory, sharp and clear. The things that keep returning here. Salt memory, real and mine. The taste of something genuine. smoke meets something like a star. Not quite beautiful, not quite pretty, just the sky for what and who we are. Carbon blue, that middle shade between the night and what we've made. Carbon blue, neither dark nor light, the color of an ordinary night. Carbon blue, this is where I live, and everything I take and give. I've made my peace with in between, with the colors that don't have a name, with all the shades that go unseen, between the different and the same. Carbon blue, that middle shade between the night and what we've made. Carbon blue, neither dark nor light, the color of an ordinary night. Carbon blue, this is where I live, and everything I take and give. Carbon blue, right here in the middle, that's where I belong. There's a quiet undertow in evenings that pulls me toward the deeper place. Not danger, just the gentle leanings of the self toward its truest space. Quiet undertow, soft pull, everything becoming full. Quiet undertow, drawing near, everything I hold most dear. Quiet You leave a carbon memory on me, like a handprint pressed in soft material. Something that will outlast the debris of everything more immaterial. Carbon memory, deep impression, deeper than the surface of expression. Carbon memory, yours and mine, pressed into the timeline. I carry your carbon memory now, in places I can't fully reach. Not sure of the exact when or how, just sure it's further than I teach. Carbon memory, deep impression, deeper than the surface of expression. Carbon memory, yours and mine, pressed into the timeline. Carbon memories don't erase, they just become part of the material. The structure you can't quite trace, but know it integral. Pressed in deep, part of the structure now, not going anywhere. Fog season comes without an announcement, just a morning softer than the last, a gradual obscuring pronouncement that winter's put in summer past. Fog season, soft and gray, making everything unclear today. Fog season, hold it close, the obscured is what I love the most. I've learned to navigate the fog, not fight it or pretend it clears. It's just the season's epilogue, a softening of what appears. Fog season, soft and gray, making everything unclear today. Fog season, hold it close, the obscured is what I love the most. Everything still exists in the fog, it's just harder to define, and sometimes harder to define. take my night inventory slow, counting what I kept and what I lost, not judging where I chose to go, just noting what each moment cost. Night inventory, piece by piece, finding what deserves release. Night inventory, soft review, keeping only what stays true. Tonight I'm keeping the small warmth of someone's laugh I almost forgot, the moment when the rain turned north and everything was what it's not. Night inventory, piece by piece, finding what deserves release. Night inventory, soft review, keeping only what stays true. This is not a purge, this is not accounting, this is just the quiet work of knowing what I'm carrying, still taking stock, finding more than I expected. That's enough for tonight. Life keeps resolving to a minor chord, not tragic, just unfinished, slightly raw. Not what the melody was working toward, but beautiful in its own minor flaw. Minor chord, soft and unresolved, a question the music never solved. Minor chord, this is where I stay, in the tension between night and day. I used to want the major resolution, the bright, conclusive final note. Now I live inside the dissolution of everything that stays in the throat. Minor chord, soft and unresolved, a question the music never solved. Minor chord, this is where I stay, in the tension between night and day. Minor is not lesser, minor is just honest about the beautiful incompleteness. smallest of its ways, the lamp, the cup, the gentle mist of breath inside the haze. Evening proof I'm still here in every ordinary thing that's near. Evening proof, soft and real, evidence of how I feel. The indentation in the cushion where I've been sitting for an hour. Small proof against the daily rushing that I exist beyond the power. Evening proof I'm still here in every ordinary thing that's near. Evening proof, soft and real, evidence of how I feel. I don't need monuments, I just need this evening to confirm that I was here and that it mattered. Still here. Proven by the quiet. That's enough. There's a pulse below the quiet, something living in the low. Not a noise, more like a riot of small things beginning to grow. Pulse below, constant and slow, everything I'll ever know. Pulse below, warm and deep, moving even while I sleep. Pulse below, mine to keep the rhythm underneath the steep. live in the shallow depth of things, where feeling is both close and far, in the space that the surface brings, before you reach the deeper scar. Shallow depth, this is enough, where things are tender before they're tough. Shallow depth, close to the top, where I can touch and then can stop. Every dive needs to go deep. Some beauty lives right at the edge. Some truths are better kept to keep right there along the water's ledge. Shallow depth, this is enough, where things are tender before they're tough. Shallow depth, close to the top, where I can touch and then can stop. Shallow is not shallow. Shallow is just honest about how close to the surface some of the best things live. Right here at the surface, where the light still reaches, that's deep enough. The neon leaves its residue on rain, long after the sign has turned off. A pink that lingers in the drain, a glow the darkness can't scoff. Neon residue still there, the afterglow in 3 in the morning, belong to a different city, one without appointment or warning, one a little more worthy. Empty roads, mine to drive, the only time I feel alive, in the full and unobstructed sense of moving without consequence. Driven empty roads for hours just to feel them moving clear, without the weight of all the powers to fill the roads by day with fear. Empty roads meant to drive, the only time I feel alive, in the full and unobstructed sense moving without consequence. Empty roads are full of something. The roads feel it too, when there's no one on them. They breathe differently. Empty roads. The patient dark waits every evening for me to finally arrive, without judging or deceiving, just glad to find me still alive. The patient dark, always here, never asking, never fear. The patient dark, warm and wide, everything I need inside. It never rushes me to sleep, or ask me why I'm still awake. The patient dark agrees to keep whatever of me I can make. The patient dark, always here, never asking, never fear. The patient dark, warm and wide, everything I need inside. The dark is more patient than anything, more patient than daylight, more patient.